Okay, after I said that, thank you. I'm just going to thank everybody again for being here, and thank you for those that are catching the replay. It's been a lovely time together of growth, and today is there's not a ton of structure. There's a few things that I'd like to talk about, but it's really a day of celebration and sharing what we've learned, how we've grown, and all of those things. And so. That's what today is about. I am going to share a little bit about the rise, renewal, and about the sisterhood. Um, and because I would really love it for us to be together in a different way too. So, what I want to start with was we left on Friday talking about lightening the soul. We did a wonderful Akashic session together. And I love doing those. First of all, let's start with what the earlier day session where we talked about lighting a candle. And as it was flickering, releasing any guilt, fear, or pressure into the flame and let it be transmuted. So, did anybody get a chance to do this or something similar to it over the last 3 days? Okay, interesting. Anybody have a chance to do that? Okay, interesting. I say interesting because guilt's a thing that we like to cling on to, right? But it also keeps us stuck. And so I'm going to encourage you to do this for yourself, whether it's a candle or just a place where you feel good, to start just allowing some of this guilt to go. I know it's a tough thing to let go because we hold it like a badge of honor sometimes, right? I know that I have. And it's time to start letting that guilt go a little bit. Yes, Elaine.
I didn't light a candle, but for some reason, I am minded to go back and start reading Judith Orloff's book, Emotional Freedom.
Mm.
Um, I have that book on my Kindle for years, and I never really um, read much of it. But was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday she popped into my head in a conversation I was having. Because it's all a form of purging, getting to who you are, understanding who you are to be able to move on. And I decided I'm going to spend the afternoon just reading. I'm going to
Mm,
give myself that time for me
wonderful.
because of certain things that are popping up in my mind. Um, you know, loneliness, sadness, and things like that.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to understand the origins of them.
Right.
And so, yeah, I said, because I had planned to do something else, more in keeping with in putting the program that I want to put together for my coaching.
Hmm.
And I decided, nah, 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 nah. I think the time is right. And so I've been reading it, and it is, as I say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Hmm.
And the number of aha moments that I'm getting. Actually, just before you hopped on, I was actually writing down the heart centered meditation because she has various meditations in it. And it's like I'm reading it for the first, and perhaps it is in a certain way.
Hmm.
So I didn't like the candle, but in essence, what I'm doing is another form
Right.
of now journaling the key areas, understanding perhaps what I'm mirroring to others, why certain things are coming back at me,
Mhm.
and also understanding, I lost the point. Um, yeah, what I need to move forward and really, oh yeah, I know what it is now. Um, when we start to work on ourselves and we have things in mind for the greater good, things pop in, but she's dealing with it from a emotional standpoint to keep us from not doing the things because we are so near to breakthrough
Yeah.
that everything starts, you can't, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I said, my God, that is precisely what is happening to me.
Mhm.
For the last couple of days, I'm supposed to be sitting down and working on this program. And I am in all kinds of tizzy, in all kinds of zones, feeling very emotional and whatnot. And when I read that thing yesterday, I said, my God,
Yeah. You were ready to hear it at that point,
I
right?
was, I
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, we've talked a lot this week about our subconscious, right? That it wants to keep us safe and safe and
Yeah, yeah,
known,
yeah, yeah.
right? And so you're right, all these emotions and all of these things can come up, situations can come up that take us from the things or the steps,
Target, yeah.
right? To take us through that. Now, I haven't picked a card today, but I'm going to share the card that I got yesterday before I picked today's because I think it's really relevant. Eliza will know. And it was Vanessa. To make your decision, ask yourself which way brings me closer to my divine purpose, which way takes me from it. And that's the, okay, let me see if I can, okay, you kind of get it right there. That's Vanessa. That was yesterday's. And I think what you're sharing right now, Elaine, is a little bit about this wisdom that's coming at us, right? That, it's all in serving our divine purpose. And if you remember, I talked about divine purpose last week in a different way than many people have heard. That our purpose is for our soul to grow. That's our purpose. And so all of these things you're doing, reading this book while you're supposed to be working on your program, right? The guilt there is serving your soul to grow. And
Yeah,
so,
because
right?
to be able to become authentic in my program, there's certain things that I need to be aware of
Yes.
to be able to address it if it pops up.
Right.
And if I'm still having certain questions in my mind, how can I be authentic? How can I be true?
Right.
And be comfortable imparting what needs to be said. And so I mean, I even this morning I've just been sitting and just reading, and I've just decided, boy, this is what I need. Everything
Yeah.
else. I
Good.
just grabbed an apple and some water just before I came on because I
Good.
haven't eaten, I haven't done anything else for the day. But it is so rewarding. I don't know what to say. So I just thought I would share that.
You're getting lots of love here in the chat, Elaine, and I appreciate you um, sharing this because I think we can all recognize these things in ourselves. That that book that sat there for the longest time, and then you're finally ready to read it and listen
Mhm.
to it and take it in. But the other piece I want to say, and I know I talked a little bit with Eliza yesterday about being careful to think that we're not ready to take those next steps, that we need to fix ourselves more, or that we need to have it all together to be able to teach, all of those things, is that this is really important work for you to do, and being careful to think that you're not ready to take that next step, because you can do both. You can grow and teach at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. And as you grow, you can teach more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got to say that I had that kind of a bit of I don't know, maybe I saw it I don't even know where I saw it, but just talking about, are you, doing the things that you're teaching people? And I thought to myself, I do, I live my life a lot of that. I'm not always, perfectly within my, in what I teach. But it reminded me of some habits that I had let go that were really good for me. Um, and that it was important for me to start getting back into those. And they're small habits, but I know they're good for me. And so uh, being here with you reminded me of those things, just to start off my morning. And I've just, you know what, Eliza, this was like it was yesterday. I keep losing my words. Perimenopause is like that sometimes, isn't it? Perimenopause, menopause, yeah. But when I went through an Ayurveda program, and I really love a lot of what Ayurveda talks about. They just talked about, letting go of the inflammation, letting go of the extra, um, extra we have in our body. And part of that was neti pot. There we go. Using a neti pot every day. And, in the beginning, I was resistant to it because I was told by somebody when I had my migraines at first, it could be your sinuses, use neti pot. I'm like, that doesn't, I don't really want to do that. Does not sound comfortable. Then I had another doctor, and then I had another doctor, and then I had Ayurveda tell me, so that, okay. Um, and I'd gotten out of that habit. And so I started that habit again, and guess what? I can breathe again. I'm clear again. But sometimes we forget, and we just get out of those habits. But that doesn't mean I can't, remind everybody else how amazing they are and take those small steps, because I can take them too, right? We're not perfect people for sure, right? And so remembering that you don't have to have it all together to start teaching, because that's something that can really keep us from taking that next step in believing we're not able to do it, or that who are we to teach when we don't have it all together. You're teaching the people that you were a few years ago,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right? You're teaching
Mm-hmm.
people that you were in your lifetime, and as you grow, you can also help them grow. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about that, Aileen. I really appreciate
Yeah, thanks for that. And it is something that I'm aware of, but there's that part of me, because I do have a very curious mind of wanting to know and needing to know. And I'm just very curious,
Yeah,
As
I
a matter
know.
of fact,
I love that.
as a child, my mom used to come and say, well, X, Y, and Z. And I'm saying, but why? And why do I have to? And my God, I don't understand you. You always want to know why. Why can't you just go and do what you need to do? This is what I need to know, you
Right?
know?
But that curiosity is what's brought you to where you are today.
Yeah,
Right?
And then, as I'd indicated, I think some time ago, I am but I mean, I'm an attorney. I don't practice in Canada. But so then after that, my siblings and other people, when I ask questions, they said, boy, I guess because you're an attorney, this is why you ask questions like
Mm.
that. And I said to them, no, long before I was an attorney.
It's why you became an
It's
attorney. Right? It's why you became an
maybe,
attorney, Elaine. Yes, yes.
yeah, it's one of that, but I do also love the law
Yeah, yeah,
because one of the things that I realize is that it impacts our lives
yeah,
overall.
yeah. I love that. I love
It impacts us. We cannot get away with it. from it. But it's
Yeah.
how we deal with it and what we use it for. And even what I discovered when I was practicing, people would come to me for legal matters, and then 2, 3 hours later, they're sitting there where they then shift to personal information. I don't know these people.
Right.
And sometimes when they
That's where
got
you,
up, I
that's,
would say, well, wasn't this chair that is keeping these people stuck while they, and I gave them the time.
yeah, yeah.
And this is
It's
when I
because you're meant to
realized,
take this next step, Elaine.
yeah,
This
this
next
is when
step.
I realized that
Yeah,
making the decision to come to Canada, this was the route I was supposed to be going.
yeah. This is your next step. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I just want to see it. I started to read Eliza's. There is a street light across from my window, and this morning I saw a firefly or something flying in and out of the light and literally sparkling and flickering with the light. Ah, okay. That's really cool. Really. But if you don't see it, what are you going to do instead?
I'm gonna do it anyways because we
Okay,
both know I need to.
good, good. Well, you're going to do it because this is what you want to do,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna draw a card for us right now, okay? And my question is, what is important for us to know? Okay, we have Francesca. Oh, what do you desire right now? Visualize it and it will come about. Negativity will block your progress. Look at that. That's Francesca. Okay, I got to tell you this story, and I know. So this is Francesca. They're very pretty cards. Uh, yeah, isn't that amazing, Eliza? So Eliza and I had a lot of conversation about how we can, when we're manifesting and creating, and how when we put that try energy into it and that, the push energy in, we can actually deflect all of those things that we want to create. And when we allow and receive, now that doesn't mean we just sit back and just, okay, I'm ready to receive. There are steps we've got to take, but it's with that knowledge that everything is here for you. The universe is here for you. It wants to support you. Wants to give you your dreams. It's just waiting for you to be ready and to allow. And I know I said this before. It still makes me laugh. Travis Kelce, he's famous in NHL. Maybe he's a good, or NFL. Sorry, I'm on hockey still. NFL. He threw it out on one of his podcasts that he really wanted to meet Taylor Swift, and guess what? They're still dating. I mean, how about that? Right? If he can do that, we can do this. Right? And I got to tell you this story, and it's really funny. You'll notice that I don't share a lot of client hypnosis stories. I'm still very bound by my many years in public health, where we were very clear on privacy. But I share a lot of my own, because it's my own and I can share that. But I'm going to share a story with you today, and it's like one of the craziest hypnosis I've ever had. And this card just tells me I need to share this with you. So my husband is a painter. He's a tradesperson painter. And I share this with you because he shares it. So he's not like your biggest woo guy or I'll go for therapy kind of guy or anything like that. But I said to him, I just really want to practice this new hypnosis technique. Can you? So this was a few years ago. And he said, okay, sure, for you. And so I said, okay, what do you really want? His business was slow. He's his own painter. His business was slow. And I said, what do you really want? Let's like throw this out there. What do you really want? And so he told me, I said, okay, let's create this vision. Let's really look at what does it feel like when you get there? What do you see? How many hours are you working? How many jobs, like what money are you bringing in? When do you have breaks? Because you're, bringing this in, what are you able to do? Vacation and we created this. What does it smell like? Like all of that, like we created a vision. And then I did a hypnosis with him to lock it in and then let it out to the universe. And then I said, okay, there's a second part to this. What are you holding on to, or what do you think might interfere with your ability to create this vision? And he said, I hate paperwork and I keep just not doing it. I keep being distracted. I said, okay, let's do another session. And this is like one form of the deep dive session that I do. It's called a part session. So there's lots of parts of us that make the whole of us. And I said, okay, let's talk to this part of Mike that keeps him from getting his paperwork done. And I'm telling you, you can't even make this up. This was like the craziest hypnosis that I've ever done. So I said, okay, bring forward the part. So when you do parts therapy and hypnosis, you talk to that part of your subconscious that is creating whatever you'd like to stop. So I said, let me talk to the part of Mike that is distracting him from getting his paperwork done. So he says, yeah, I'm here. I said, what's your name? Joe Silver. I said, okay, Joe, like, what do you do for Mike? And then he wouldn't talk. So I'm like, Joe, are you here? Like, come on and talk to me. And then Mike, so during hypnosis, you're very relaxed, but you're aware of everything that's going on. So during this, we have a good conversation. And Mike said he won't come forward. He's hiding behind a bush. And I was like, okay, can you bring him forward? And it's like, I'm trying. And so I said, okay, what can you do to bring this part forward? Because we really got to work on this. He says, I'm going to lasso him. So he lassoed him in his hypnosis and brought the part. It was really like I said, I can't even make this up. So he lassoed him. The part came forward. Joe Silver came to talk to me. And so I said, bring me to the time you first came about for Mike. And so he told me about a time that he was in school and I think he busted open a bag of chips or something like that. And he told me about that whole situation. And I was like, I don't think this is the first time. So I said, bring me to the first time you came into existence. And we went into Joe Silver's lifetime. It was one of Mike's previous lifetimes. And in that lifetime, Joe Silver had messed with some of the harnesses on a coach, like on the horses for a coach. And he'd messed with them so much that there was an accident and people died. And so we worked that through with that lifetime of Joe Silver. We screened the guilt. We screened, we had some forgiveness in that lifetime for what had happened and all of those things, and moved up into, Mike's lifetime. And as we moved through some of the things that came up at the end, I asked the part, you can see now that, Mike doesn't need you anymore. Like, he doesn't need you in that way anymore. Do you want to change to help support Mike to get his paperwork done? And Joe said, no. I was like, okay, well, isn't that interesting? I said, okay, well, you know that you're not helping Mike to, to be at his highest good, or you're ready to go into the light. And Joe Silver said, no. He was just like a little mischief, right? And my husband is mischievous. Like he's mischievous. He'll stir the pot if he needs, like. So I said to Joe, okay. So then I went to Mike. I said, do you still want Joe Silver as part of you? And Mike said, no, it's time for him to go. Like I need to, take this next step. So we went through the process of letting a part go that really didn't want to go. So there's a process that goes on in hypnosis. And so I said to Mike, okay, just, there's a light that's opening up and Joe's going to go toward it, and just let me know when he's gotten there. So I sat. Mike didn't say anything. I said, oh, so what's happening, Mike? I said, he's doesn't want to go. And I said, do you want him to go? And he said, yeah. So I said, just encourage him to go. So I sat, and he said, he keeps hugging me. So Joe Silver, the part, kept hugging Mike. And eventually Mike just said, no, it's time for you to go. And Joe Silver went. And then we created that part in Mike that would help him to get his stuff done, get his paperwork done, not be distracted. So we created that. And so I said, what do you want to call this part? And Mike said, get shit done. So he's got this get shit done part. And so we integrated it all back together. I know that this was over quite a long time. So this was, I think, a 90-minute session over this time. And we integrated it all. And Mike was just like so surprised. He's like, I can't believe, like, I was not expecting that, but he was aware during the whole thing. And then next week, he started to get calls for estimates. So he got one the next week. He went out and did it. The week after that, he got two. And then for, I think it was about 6 weeks, he kept getting 2 calls for estimates for about 6 weeks. And he was busy until the end of the year with his work in allowing that vision to come out, speaking it out, locking it in with that hypnosis, throwing it out into the universe, and also working on this part that was keeping him from getting his work done. And he had his best year. And he continues to have really good, consistent years in his business. But I would have never suspected that this was a past life that was interfering with this. But once we worked on it, and it just reminded me just about this. Visualize it and it will come about. Really see that. The other piece of it, though, is understanding that you're worth it. You're worthy of having what you see. And it's okay to want. Sometimes we'll say, well, I've got my health, so I shouldn't ask for more. Or I've got a nice, I've got money now, I shouldn't ask for more. I've got this, I shouldn't ask for more. Yes, ask for it. Put it out there. You're worthy of it. The universe wants to give you everything. You're worthy of it. I don't want to jinx this by asking for more. You're not jinxing this. It comes down to your worthiness. Believe that you're worthy. You're worthy to take these steps. You're worthy to find the time for yourself to grow and to make yourself a priority, your dreams a priority. You're worthy of it. You get to do that. You get to do that. You get to do that.
For me,
Yeah.
sustaining that feeling is what I find challenging at times.
Of course.
The belief that I am worthy,
Yeah.
and even the whole visualization of what I would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in terms of manifesting and whatnot. And somewhere in the deep recesses, there's still that doubt that I don't even know what the doubt is, but that it would not happen.
Yeah.
And so these are things that I am really.
So here's the thing. I see heads nodding here, Elaine, to what you're talking about. You're not the only one here feeling this way, right? It's we're
I'm
human.
the echo.
We're yeah, you're able to speak, right? What other people are feeling, and I appreciate that. Here's the thing, we're divine. So I'm not saying we're part of the divine. I'm not saying the divine is in us. We are divine and we're human, right? And so human things come up like doubts, like fatigue, like, you know, do do I deserve this? Who am I to teach this? Who am I to share that? All of that is very human. And here's the thing, it's okay. That's not going to stop you from creating. It's creating that awareness. Just like we've talked all week, that awareness, when that emotion comes up, to say, oh, okay, what are you here to tell me? Where is it important that I grow? What are you here to show me? Oh, there's that thought. There's that thought that sometimes comes up when I doubt myself, or when I doubt my vision, or when I wonder if I'm worthy, or, all of those things. And that's where the thought challenging comes in. See how this all works together? The thought challenging comes in where you start to go, okay, like I can come up with plenty of evidence for this thought. But what's the evidence against it? What's the evidence against it that tells me I can't do this, or I'm not worthy of it? Right? Or that maybe I shouldn't be doing. What's the evidence against? And sometimes that is really hard to come up with, especially when we're in that self-doubt. So you might do things like, what would my best friend tell me? What would I tell my best friend if they were to tell me this? Sometimes that's an easier way. What would I tell my best friend if they came to me with the same thing I'm saying to myself right now? What would I tell them? Right? There's always evidence against. It allows you to keep creating. There's the story. Feel free to share, Eliza, however much you want to share about what we talked about yesterday, or not. But there's lots of stories, and I've heard a few on the finances that I can't handle my money, or the more money I bring in, the more it's going to go out. And, I just, finances are not my thing. I know I'll always have trouble with finances, whatever it is, finance wise, it's a big thing. And here's some evidence against that I want you to think about. Have you paid your rent? Have you paid bills? And I'm not saying all the time, because I know sometimes things happen and you can't. Have I paid for the things that were necessary? Well, isn't that telling you that you do know what to do with your money? And even when things were tight, you found ways. Did I find a way to work through a payment that I was behind on? Did I find a way to work through something I was late on? Doesn't that tell you that you're taking responsibility for your finances? Right? To start building that evidence against that you don't know how to handle your money. Just one example. Just one example. And that's why these all work together, right? It's the we start with that conscious thought, the emotions, those quick thoughts, and then we can start to go deeper. And it's one of those things why, I love hypnosis. I love the Akashic records because it goes and does that deeper healing. While you're working up here on the conscious, we can do that deeper healing and work on all three levels. I should remind myself more than in the entire 11 years I have had a credit card, I've never made a late payment. I have an excellent credit score. This is never top of mind, right? Right there, that tells me, you might want to think about that thought that keeps telling you you don't know how to handle your finances. And see, here's the thing. It's okay if you've overspent. It's okay if you've maybe used your money in ways that you wish you hadn't. The things that you did brought you joy, or they brought you further in a place for your, for your soul's journey. Doesn't mean that that has to be the story that stays with you. Right? Doesn't have to be the story that stays with you. Yeah. Well, that sure went to a place I didn't anticipate. But isn't that the way it goes, right? Isn't that the way it goes? We always talk about the things, or we're always in the right place to discover these things. Sometimes those stories can stop us from taking the steps we need to take too, right? A little bit of time. Push on those boundaries of that comfort zone. Push on those boundaries. You don't have to take big steps, right? So I want to talk a little bit about how it's gone for these last days. I am gonna say, I have these programs, and I really think that they are amazing programs, and that they would be really good for any one of you. So this isn't the program. This is the journal for today that I'm putting in while I'm talking. My Rise renewal is a 6-week journey. You've heard a couple of the people that have gone through who it was about way more than the physical weight we carry. And I want to let you know that if you're like, well, which one works for me? Which one do I go to? That kind of thing. If you take the Rise renewal, 6-week, I'm throwing in 3 months of the sisterhood, so you don't have to choose. Okay. I'm throwing in 3 months of the sisterhood. If you feel like, you know what, I really like that sisterhood, it's $49 a month. We get to do stuff like this every month where we get to chat. There's a training, there's a Q&A kind of just like this where we can speak openly and just, talk about. There's a recorded hypnosis every month that has to do with that theme. This month's theme is trust. And then there's a group Akashic records session every month where I do the individual guidance as well while we're doing that. It's for $9 a month, and I think it's $5.23 for the year. Pay for a year, up ahead, then you get a month free, and there's also some other bonuses, like I do a personalized recorded hypnosis. And there's other bonuses. I would love you to join me in the sisterhood because I think it's a really amazing space. I've just started it, and that means that you're the founders. So you get to build this with me, and the price will never change as long as you're part of it. As the price goes up for anyone else, it will never change. So I want you to think about that. And I want you to join me, of course. I do want you to join me because I think it's an amazing space. And you ladies are the type of people that I want in my space. So willing to be there for each other, so willing to be vulnerable and share. That's the sisterhood. And I'm going to send out those links in the email to follow it up. And yes, Elaine, I did get your message, and we'll book a time to chat for sure. And I know I'm expecting an email from Eliza. Yes, Denise.
Well, I've been thinking about this candle practice you were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think I shared with you all about my Reiki session on Friday. Did I?
Nope.
Um, so this woman that I've known for quite a while, and I didn't know she did Reiki or anything because I know her from a different place, and so I went to visit her, and my gosh, you wouldn't believe what happened. It was like so she does healing. She does not just Reiki, but she just follows
Mm-hmm.
her messages and everything. So we get started, and almost immediately she kind of jumped back and she goes, do you have someone in your heart that loved you very much that passed away? I said, well, that's probably my mom,
Mm-hmm.
because it'll be a year in a couple of weeks, right? Well, now my mom during her life was very negative, resentful, drank, unhappy most of the time. Most of the time. We had a lot of conflict, her and I. So anyway, she's got this big grin on her face and she goes, well, your mom's here and she's telling you to let everything go that happened between us because Denise, you were right. I because I talk about things like universal, um, like my recovery. I've been in recovery for 35 years,
Mm-hmm.
and all letting go of resentments and all whatever. And she never listened. She just always kind of poo-pooed me and made fun of me. And she goes, no. She goes, you know what? I've decided that I just want to laugh and I just want to have fun where she is. And then this woman, her name's Carol, she just started giggling like crazy. And then she started crying. And I started crying. And the rest of the session was about releasing and letting go of the sadness, the guilt, all those things that I felt around my mom.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it took away the trauma of her death because it was all I could think about. And now, when I think about my mom, I think about her giggling because it was so different from her. Like to see her giggle would have been awesome. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that because I left that session feeling so much lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is in the past. It's feeling much better about where she is. And yeah, and to know that she's right there with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was fun. It was really good. It was interesting.
Yeah. Well, Denise, you and I have chatted a lot about your mom over the time we've been together, and I love that you've come to this space because that spiritual space is just so different than this human space, right? Which allows you to forgiveness, but not just for your mom, but for you too, right? I feel this forgiveness for yourself for sometimes allowing your mom to kind of interfere with you moving forward and the things that you believed in. I feel like there's been healing on that um, plane, and it's really important because you are amazing. You're so lovely, and you have so many things to do. and so much inspiration to share.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And I won't go into a ton. Denise has a really amazing story to share of overcoming. I know she shared a little bit with 35 years of being on track, and so that's just part of it. And lots of people need your story, need your story, and so it's important to share it. Yeah. Oh, I love this. I also have a very fraught relationship with my mom. Yeah, I actually tried connecting to her higher self the other day, and I think it helped a bit. Yes, that is the thing. I knew this was going to, when you spoke about this, that this would, finding everyone's story so inspiring. That's why this sisterhood is so important, right? That's why it's important to join together in a space that's healing. I don't leave the Akashic records aside because it's not Akashic record today. Yeah, Akashic record day. I'm in my Akashic records right now to hold this space for everyone. So, if you have any questions about it, reach out. We'll talk and let's create this space. I do want to talk a little bit about how this week has gone for everybody. I mean, I love these for sure. But I want you to share. Are you guys okay if we go a little bit over? Okay, if you can't stay, that's fine. But I'd like you to share your 3 biggest wins. Or I'd like you to write them down. Write down your 3 biggest wins. Let's write them down. And I'm going to ask you to share one of them. What are your 3 biggest wins from the time we've spent together this week, whether it's been listening to replays, or if you're listening to this replay, I'd love to hear, email me. What are some of your wins? I'm gonna ask you to come on camera and share a win. I'm gonna push a little bit on that bound. I know for some it's not such a boundary, but I'm gonna push a little bit on that comfort zone boundary to just come on camera, share your win. If you don't want to, that's okay. I'm just share it in the chat, but I'm gonna really encourage you to come on camera and share one of your wins. Denise.
Well, in relation to, um, let's see, probably to do with our self-care and for me, releasing the weight of responsibility. And this week I was so overwhelmed, Leslie, or actually last week too, because we're having a garage sale in the town this weekend. I was working on my steps. I was doing this. I'm doing a cleanse. I've just committed myself to all this. And it's all for me and my health. And I mean, I love all of it. And then I had taken a class with you, actually was from that book that I helped you with about the overwhelmment, how to handle overwhelmment. But I also remember you saying every day, do something that brings you joy so that I'm not feeling like I'm just doing all these things that need to be done, but what brings me joy every day. So one thing I did was in the morning, we have this spot on our rug. The sun, in fact, it's the only window that I have. It's in the living room and it shines lots of sun, and my cat loves to sit there. So I put a blanket on the rug, and he and I just sat there because I do meditation in the morning and petted him, and I just spent way more time with him than I instead of just jumping up and getting right to it. And well, it brought me joy. I'm sure it brought him joy too, because he had a lot of love. Um, and it just made me feel good.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
that was something to do with probably spiritual. I've
Yeah.
been working a lot on that this week too.
Mhm. I love that you've kept that with you for for a while, Denise, and that it came again to you. And I do believe we're meant to live in joy. And even when we're going through things that are really challenging and it we are meant to live in joy.
Mhm.
And so find something that gives you joy every day. I love that because as soon as you started talking about the spot on the rug with the sun, I'm like, you're gonna curl up there like a kitty, aren't you? Good
Yeah,
for you. If that brings you joy, then do it. And your kid, you just love the time that you were present.
I swear I used to be a cat. I really do.
I really resonate. I am a Leo too, astrology wise, but I do resonate with cats very strongly too. Yeah. So I love that. I'm gonna lay in the sun. I know I spent all Saturday out in the sun in the yard and it was beautiful. So I can just picture you just curled up and just smiling. And you know what I love is that you shared it with us. And there's some people that wouldn't share that thinking, well, I must look really silly laying here in the middle of in this sun.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Good for you that you did that and that you allowed yourself to enjoy it without thinking of that. Because so often our thoughts can take us away from that. And you didn't. Good for you to do that and good for you because any cat lovers are probably sitting here thinking, actually, that's a really good idea. I like that. Right? It's a really good idea. I think I'm going to lay in the sun with my cat for a little bit. Actually, my daughter does that. Anna does that too with Stevie.
Well, I've
So
been stuck in the basement all these beautiful weather days doing this garage sale stuff.
yeah,
And I just thought, oh yeah, I got to get out somehow,
good
get
for
out of
you.
the dungeon. Yeah.
Good
Well,
for you.
thank you for listening. Thank you.
Oh, good for you, Denise. Love that. Okay, who else wants to share a lesson? I see Gina, the lessons were the power of people together. Yeah. Not to push and allow. Okay, we're gonna say not to push and allow.
Yes.
And the power of gratitude and joy, setting this as an intention each day.
I think that my whole life has been, as most of ours, worry, make it happen, kind of push through, kind of drive, that kind of we call masculine energy.
Yeah.
And I think the power of what you teach, Leslie, and this circle is the allowing and setting for me the intention each day for joy and for gratitude and to open my heart. And that love is really the power that I need to open up to and just allow the vision I have to manifest. And that's the period I am in my life now. I'm in my 70s and I'm now ready
Beautiful.
for the fruition of all of this that I've wanted all my life. So there's, and having lost my husband, this little bird is pecking at my window. It's
Still, huh? Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy. He comes every day. You have to understand, my husband died right here. And
Yeah.
my husband, when he died, said, I knew he would communicate as birds. So
Yeah.
he's like peck, 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 peck. Then he brings a
Yeah.
friend. Anyway, it's just amazing. So the
Yeah.
veil is very thin,
Yes.
ladies,
Yes.
and it comes very quickly. So
Yes.
enjoy, have fun,
I love
have
that.
fun, have fun.
I love that.
Hi, Jessica. You're somewhere. My niece is here. Love,
Yes, I
love.
see Jessica is here. Yeah, Wally, she says Wally with a heart.
Wally. Yeah, she went
Yeah.
flying with Wally. He was a pilot. You went flying with Wally.
Ah,
I miss him dearly, I'll tell
yes.
you.
And he's right here with you, isn't he? Reminding
He
you.
is, and he reminds me every morning. Peck, peck,
That's
peck, peck.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
Nice to meet you, ladies, and to share the space with you. Sorry I had to come in and out, and I'm having my healthy breakfast. Yogurt and fresh fruit with granola. None of
You
this.
know, the power of community is quite incredible, and
Yeah.
the power of
It's
women
a
getting
way to
together.
heal. Yeah.
I have a friend, Gregory, Reese Smith. If you've ever been to one of my summits, he's this amazing man who's a shaman is kind of his title, but he talks about where we're going and where we want to choose to go. And he talks about the feminine, that the feminine is now starting to rise, not to take over, but to balance the masculine, to have this divine balance between divine masculine, divine feminine. And do you want to be a part of that? Right? Allow your divine feminine to rise. Because each choice we make, each step we take toward allowing that feminine to rise, for us to create the lives we really want, to step into joy, to do things that bring us joy, each step we take in that direction, we are making a difference in the universe to allow that feminine to rise to balance. It may not seem like you have that much power, but your power is incredible with each step you take into letting your light shine. Because it creates a ripple. When we create that ripple, allows other people to create ripples, right? You inspire me to be better every day by being here and taking steps to be better, right? To be the best version of yourself. It is incredible. The women that we talk about, when we talk about that, are women that want other women to rise. If you've ever been to any of my summits, I have healers. Some healers do the same thing, some healers do different things, and we are all there to help each other rise the energy, all of it. We understand that the blessings are out there for everyone in the universe, and we don't have to fight for them. We don't have to knock each other down to be the last one standing. It's when we all stand together that we create an amazing world, right? Where we have this balance. I saw this, and I think it must have been the daytime Emmys. One of the women, it was for Best Actress or something, and I saw this little bit. And you know how at those awards show they call the nominees and you show them on the camera and they smile and then the winner goes up, right? To give the acceptance speech. One of the women, might have been Amy Schumer, I don't remember fully. She called all of the nominees and said, I want every one of us to step on that stage when our name is called as a nominee. And they did. They held hands, and the winner, they put a crown on her, they put a sash on her, and they celebrated her. And can you imagine if we all just did this for each other, right? It didn't make them any less great actors, right? In fact, it made them better. So, we can do that for each other. All right, sorry, got a little waylaid. I'm I'm very passionate about this. I'm very passionate about this. Okay, who would like to share another thing that they have taken that they're going to take forward? Something that they learned this week. Come on, you can share it. Biggest win. Yeah, Eliza.
I think that something that I feel called to do is evolving the picture of myself. You know, I'm not just my daughter's mother. My daughter is going to be 31 years old this year, right? I'm not just my mother's least favorite child. I, yeah, just to be my own person and to find my joy and to, you know, as you say, find a community because I definitely don't have that. So, yeah, I think it's just taught me that nice supportive environment is maybe something that I need more of.
I
So,
love that. Well,
thank you all.
you have found your community, Eliza.
Thank you. Thank you,
You have
ladies.
found your community, and I love that in talking about I don't need to carry those stories with me anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know that I am so much more than what I tell myself. I'm so
Yeah.
much more than the roles I play, right?
Yeah.
And you can move beyond that. And I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
This
Thank
is
you,
big
guys.
for you, Eliza.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a lot going on this weekend. As you and I talked about yesterday, I found
Yeah.
last weekend to be there's a lot of darkness and I was just really feeling not good about myself, you know, so I think it's just letting all of this come up and yeah, moving
Yeah.
on is what
Beautiful.
I'm hoping is what this is all doing for me. So, yeah, thank you all. It's just been nice to share and to have you guys share and all you guys are just such lovely people. So, I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Eliza, I'm going to put this down as one of your biggest wins is getting on here and sharing.
You
Love
know,
that.
I've told you, and I think everybody
Love
can
that.
tell that this is not my favorite thing. I don't I have to take a self-portrait for this new virtual assistant company I'm joining or get my daughter to, and I'm just no, oh, I'm so not looking forward to putting my picture out there and then having it on a website. So challenging myself in these little ways. Yeah. Yeah, this is a big deal. So thanks, guys. Thanks so
Beautiful.
much.
Beautiful.
Eliza, I want to hire you as my virtual assistant. I would love to have you. I've been trying to manifest something. So maybe, no, it's
Okay.
like beautiful.
Yeah.
You're such a rock
Okay.
star and so brave.
I appreciate you so
No,
much, Gina.
you're so brave. Keep it up, girl. You are
Thank
just a
you.
rock star. Keep going.
Thanks.
So,
Beautiful soul. I can see it.
Thank you.
do you want to
Thank
private
you.
message each other with
Let's
your
message each other. Hey, what the
Yeah.
heck?
Eliza,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Tell
why
me about
don't
this virtual assistant company. This is great.
Yeah,
why
sure.
don't
Yeah.
Eliza, why don't you message Gina in
Yeah.
the chat for
Yeah.
her email?
Here, I'll just put my email in the chat and then
Yeah.
Gina, you've
And
got
I'll
it.
just
And then if anyone else needs it
wants to, yeah.
or wants it, here it is.
A great idea, virtual assistant.
Yeah.
Gina.
Yeah. No, if you actually literally need somebody, you just let me know. I mean, I kind of wear whatever hats are put on my head in the day. Right now, I work with a website development guy. I've worked with him since 2014. We've only met face to face like twice, and we are just very symbiotic. And he just asks me to put on hats. The only one that you guys all know I'm not into is the notion of public speaking and things like that. So
Yeah, right.
But that can change as
yeah,
you
That
evolve,
could
right,
change
Eliza?
too.
So Gina, can I ask you whether you feel like you want to do it in the chat or whether you want to send a private message to Eliza to send
I've
her
got
your
her email
email?
right here.
yeah.
I can do either way, but I'm writing it down. It's that
Okay.
girl.
That's me, that girl. Who's that
That
girl?
girl,
I'm
Eliza. That girl. Do you
and it's
remember that
underscore.
song,
It's
Marlo Thomas?
underscore.
That's exactly it, Gina. It's Marlo Thomas. That's
Oh
exactly why
my,
I named it. Yeah, yeah, no,
I
exactly.
love Marlo
Me
Thomas.
too. And she was so
Okay.
well dressed on that show. Oh, it was such a fun show. I love that girl.
Now,
Oh
the
yeah.
work that she and
So
her
that
dad did
girl
in
underscore, because you can't see it with the
75,
line. There's an underscore there, 75.
Yeah, that's me. And Jessica,
75.
it's something that I sort of just evolved a picture of in my head, becoming a virtual assistant. you can do it. There's lots of opportunities out there. So, you know, I know you're thinking about going back to work, but not really too into that. So think about this. And there are definitely companies out there that you can jump on board with too. That can,
Jessica, you might want to reach out to Eliza as well. She might have some good
Yeah.
insights to give you on this.
yeah, yeah. And you're
Love it.
Canadian too, so it's probably easier for us to find like actually the place I just jumped on with is Canadian. So,
I
you
love
know,
it.
you could probably check them out too. So yeah, yeah,
I
for
have
sure.
a couple of friends who told me they have virtual assistants.
Mhm.
One of them runs her whole business. She has
Yeah,
a facial business, and she does all the billing, does everything, and she loves it.
yeah. One of
Okay,
the girls I
so
Anyway, we
interviewed
got to
with.
move on. Sorry.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
that's
sorry.
okay.
Yes, I
So
think you'd be perfect
Eliza,
for it.
I know Gina is very good about following
Yeah,
through on things.
sure.
I'm
No,
already
of
But
course.
if you don't hear and you want to follow up, you can get a hold of me and I can reach out to
Cool.
Gina.
Thanks, ladies. Sorry we
Yeah.
veered off a little bit in
Yeah,
another
no, no,
direction.
no. This is exciting for me. This is what community is all about and throwing things out there, right?
Let me
Yeah.
telling you, this is why community, you don't know what's going to happen. You allow, and look at what happened.
That's what I need.
Such a
I
This
need
is
to
perfect
just
just
like,
example,
allow.
this is
Leslie.
making my heart beat and I'm excited. I love
And I
this.
was
Okay.
thinking when Jessica popped on, I thought she's so perfectly suited for this. I
love it.
just thought of that in my mind, and then Eliza said, it. Anyway, just
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, this is
Beautiful.
awesome.
Beautiful.
I love
Beautiful.
this.
I already
All
emailed
right.
you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yes, fabulous. Yep, for sure. Jessica, shoot me an email. I can send you
See
the
what
name of the
happens when you
company.
speak out a little bit, Eliza? There you go. Love it.
Yes, you know, I'm working on that. I'm definitely
Yep.
that's one of the things I've been doing lately is
Big
trying
high five
is
from
working
me.
on that.
This
Thank
is
you guys,
awesome.
all of
Okay.
you. Yes.
Jessica, I saw you
Jessica.
Oh, there's
unmute. Were
Jess.
you wanting
Oh, there's
to
my beauty queen.
share, Jessica?
I just wanted, well, excuse my, I'm taping my nose to keep some swelling down, but I just
Yes.
wanted to pop on in solidarity because I know that Eliza was saying she doesn't like public speaking. And so I just wanted to pop up. Everyone else was on camera, so I just thought I should do that as well. So just hello and hi.
Thank you. I want, as I said in the chat, like it was great that Gina brought you on, and when you shared the other day, it was just so inspiring and it touched my heart. So it was great that you were able to come and join us.
Well, that's really nice. Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, I think my aunt is someone who has in the past brought me to great communities, so I feel like I'm in a good place here. So thank you, Gina.
Yeah.
Love you,
Awesome.
Jess.
Awesome. So great to have you here,
Yeah.
Jessica. I've loved that you've come and joined us, and I'm so glad you guys are going to connect too. That's amazing.
Yeah,
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
feels aligned. Feels good.
But
feels
isn't that
aligned.
community?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that what we do? We're like,
Yeah.
yeah, go for it. Let's do it, ladies. Come on. I
You know
love
what's
this.
really nice, Leslie? What Jessica said about alignment? If things feel right or they don't feel right, Jess, right? It's like,
Mhm.
okay, this is not for me, but
Yeah,
this feels aligned, you know, and that's so important to trust ourselves. Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
I
Well,
love that you guys have such a good connection, you know, as aunt and niece. No, it's true because like my sister and my daughter are not that well connected, and me and my niece aren't really that well connected. So it's lovely to see. Really lovely.
For us, it's a little bit out of survival as well.
Yeah.
mhm.
We
Hey.
are
Dysfunctional family.
I actually see some real similarities actually in your genetics. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 I look
Crazy family. So we're hanging on like this. We found each other. So we're kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
We
Find the
can make
people.
it. We can make
Find
it.
the people that bring you joy, right? Find the people that bring you joy, and the rest you can just,
Absolutely.
put those boundaries on. Awesome.
Yeah, hi, Jack. That's
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Elaine, you haven't shared what's one of your you're just laughing here. Isn't this funny? I just love this. I know. I've lost full control of this whole thing and I'm loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah. If I needed to, I'd rein it in, but this is awesome. So don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, take the guilt off. I wasn't saying that to make you feel guilty. I'm actually
No,
really
I'm just
enjoying
going
it.
to say that what I shared at the beginning of this session is all part of everything
Mhm.
that I'm experiencing. It's difficult to pinpoint any one specific,
Yeah.
but just listening, I've been asking for a community or tribe for a long time. It's something I've been asking for.
Mhm.
I'm relatively new to Canada. I came in the height of COVID, and I don't know many people, but virtually this is just great. And knowing that one of the important things for me as well is not just being a part of a community, but connecting with people of like mind.
Mhm.
That for me is critical.
Yes.
And so I would prefer to be by myself rather than just forcing and going through the motions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I listen. I may be quiet, but I tend to be a listening person. I tend to listen and observe quite a bit and speak when I think I feel compelled to speak, despite
Yeah.
the fact that I'm an attorney.
Yeah.
Um, and so there are a whole host of things swirling in my mind right now.
Yeah.
Hence the reason I sent the message to you, Leslie, because it's more than just this, but it is now how I move forward, what I do to get more clarity.
Yeah.
And so having a conversation in terms of where I feel I need to go. So
You know what? We'll book it.
my quietness is really just taking in all and feeling what's right for me, what is resonating with me. Um, I think I'm at a stage in my life where I need to have a voice and speak for what I need.
Mhm. You too.
Believe it or not, I'm in my 70s as well, Gina. So it is, yeah, the time is right.
Yeah. Time is right. I love that, Elaine. You know, I have enjoyed having you here and that little grin that was coming up when all the chatting was, I mean, you've had that throughout the just this little grin and clever. And I just, I bet there's a lot of fun in there that you don't let out as often as I'd like to see it. Yeah, it's infectious, isn't it? It's just this little, so yeah,
Yeah,
I so
I,
appreciate you being here.
I tend to hold in quite a bit. And this is something else that I'm working on as well. Um, from an astrological standpoint, it is said my sign is one of communication.
Mhm.
I'm Virgo. Um, but I'm willing to stay in the background quite a bit and listen to what is being said. So there's more. I'm seeing an unfolding. I sense 2025
Mm.
is the year that I'm going to see
Yeah, love it. I love it, Elaine. I love
a
it.
lot of things that I've been yearning for, asking for, working towards will unfold.
Yep, you are right. You are right. And it is unfolding as we speak, right? It is unfolding. And like you said, when you're ready, the teacher appears, or the teacher being a group, a book, uh, an actual person or a situation. When you're ready, it appears. And I'm telling you, you're right. We got a lot of time left in 2025. Yeah, we sure do. We sure do. you might not believe this, but I am a listener as well. If I'm in a room of people that I don't know very well, I'm the quiet one in the corner observing everything as well. And so I get what you're saying, to just kind of sit back and watch. Or I was always the one that would whisper something funny to my brother, who was the funny one. And then he would say it out loud and get all the laughs, but I was the quiet one whispering the start to him, right? I've learned that I can actually say those out loud now too, and grow from there. But it's not a bad thing to sit back and observe, but it's also, Eliza, you've just found out that it's good to speak out too. It's good to speak, right? It's good to speak.
You know, my dad used to say, if you don't ask, you won't know. Sometimes we make assumptions that they're going to say X, Y, and Z, but until you voice it,
Yeah.
you won't know for sure, because we can't perceive what may be going on in other people's heads.
Yeah. It's exactly it. It's exactly it.
So it's something that I've held on to. If something means quite a lot to me, even though I think I may have the answer, I still voice it. So
Yeah.
that may be something you may want to think about.
Well, I like that, that, in the expert's mind, we know everything. In the learner's mind, we learn everything, right? And in the expert's mind, we have no growth to make. And you stay stagnant when you think that you're the expert and you don't need to ask questions. Ask questions always. And allow the answers to come. Okay, I'm going to ask you this quickly so I'm going to do a final meditation. One truth you're taking with you. One truth that you're taking with you. You want to throw it in the chat. One truth you're taking with you from this week.
I will vocalize and say that I'm enough.
I am enough. Beautiful. Love that. That is the truth.
You literally said what I was just gonna type there, Elaine. Yep. That I was just gonna say that I am worthy, that I am enough. So thanks, Elaine.
Truth. 100% truth. I love that. All right. Any other truths? That's enough truth for me. That's exactly what I believe is the base for much of it. Okay, so last thing here on this journal, what's my next aligned step? We just talked about alignment. What's your next aligned step? Why don't you just think about it? Just one small step. Remember, it doesn't have to be a big one. I think sometimes when we think about a step, we think it has to be a big one to be meaningful, and that is absolutely not true. We beat ourselves up because we can't take this one step. And yet the step is just still too big. And I would say in all of the clients that I've worked with over all the years, the one thing that holds them back from taking a step is it's too big. And it feels overwhelming, or it feels too much. And so when you're having a hard time taking that step, break it down. Break it down. I do teach on that too, how to break it down and make it doable. So what's one aligned step? Yeah, Eliza.
Okay, I'm just gonna try to go down to the beach later on and actually just be quiet and just be. Because I've been going, I just moved up the road from a beach in December, so like I have great access to lovely things, but like I've let my stinking thinking really invade my time down there the last few days. Yesterday I really wanted to just be, and it just didn't quite work, but that's my intention this afternoon, is to just have a nice quiet time, just being, listening to the water and seeing all those amazing creatures down there.
So tell me this.
Yeah.
What do you need to do? Because often it's the prep to
Yeah.
get to the beach. What do you need to have ready so you can just go to the beach?
Yeah. I mean, I really just need to make sure that I've got water and I'm dressed and ready to go, and
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay. So do you have your water ready?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you have your shoes ready to go?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Do you have whatever clothes that you need ready?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. Just throw on the clothes, get down there.
Okay.
I have been driving down, but I think I might actually walk today. It's a heck of a walk up 4 hills to get home, but I think my body could use that today. So yeah.
Okay, so you've got your shoes, you've got your clothes ready, you got your water ready.
Yeah.
So when are you gonna do that?
I'm gonna do it after work. So this afternoon, like 3:30-ish, kind of around in there or something.
Okay, so
Mhm.
3:30. So I would say when you take a break in the afternoon, make sure you refill your water.
Yeah.
So you don't have to do that at 3:30.
Yeah.
Make sure you have your shoes out, make sure you
Yeah.
have your clothes out. So all you gotta do, because you know how it goes, when you're like, oh, I have to fill my water up, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, all those
Yeah.
things, right?
Yeah.
Do that on your break.
Hmm.
And have it all ready. So when 3:30 comes around,
Hmm.
you can just go.
I might even do two. So I might take it back and say I might not drive because I told you about the ponds by my house.
Yeah.
Yesterday there was little goslings running around and there was a baby bunny and we've seen little ducklings in the last few days. So I kind of feel like maybe I should do both.
Okay. So
Nature just makes me so
okay, so you're gonna
happy.
drive. So where
Yeah.
are you gonna go first?
The ponds, I think, because then I'll sit at the beach and just be. Yeah.
Okay, so go to the so your plan is you're gonna get everything ready ahead of
Yeah.
time. You're gonna
Yeah.
drive to the pond.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. If you
Mhm.
just stay at the pond and you just be, and then the beach isn't calling to you anymore, that's
Well, it's a possibility. Although I tell you, like it's been nourishing my soul to do
yeah.
both. It has definitely. I just yeah. Nature makes me just so happy.
So then do that, right?
Yeah.
So that's the piece that I'm saying is sometimes those little steps ahead of time can keep us from doing the thing, right?
Yeah.
Getting your shoes out. Because you know how I want to go on the treadmill and then you're like, oh, I gotta find my shoes. Oh, I gotta find my water bottle. Do all those little steps ahead of time. So
Yeah.
when that next step comes, you can just go.
That's perfect. I love that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good. I'm glad. That's a
Thanks,
lovely
guys. Yeah.
aligned step.
Appreciate
Okay.
you.
Right back at you, Eliza. I appreciate you too. I'm gonna update and finish my website to include what I want to teach. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Eliza, you're making me envious. You're taking me back down memory lane. I'm just visualizing my home, back home, right next to the beach.
I'm glad I made you smile, Elaine. Come out here and visit me and you can see the beach and hang out, look out my windows and we can walk to the beach and
Where is that?
I just moved to White Rock, BC. So I
Okay.
used to live on the other side of the Fraser River, like on the north side of the Fraser River, and now live on the south, just above Washington State. So yeah, it's like one of our favorite places to go, my daughter and I. And then we just I stood on the beach below our place in September and thought, wouldn't it be nice if we lived up there? A month later, we got notice, and then like by December, we were living up on the hill that I was looking at. So as I said to Leslie, I think I somehow had this little magical moment that I manifested. But
Not
if
I
you're ever
think, I
here, yes,
know.
come and visit me for sure.
I love
Thanks.
White
That's
Rock.
great. Yeah,
Of course,
I
yeah.
know White Rock.
water does a lot for me.
Yo, you
Um,
know White Rock, Gina?
Yeah, I lived in
Awesome.
Vancouver for many years.
Oh, fabulous.
In White Rock, yeah.
Elaine, I'm with
Canadian.
you. I can't swim at all, but water does a lot for me.
Oh,
Elaine,
I
where do
love
you
it
live?
too.
Elaine.
I'm in Toronto,
Oh
Scarborough
yeah,
to be
so's
exact.
Jessica. I
So
grew
you
up
and
in
Jessica are
Toronto.
neighbors then?
Okay.
Ish.
You're in Scarborough, Eileen?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
All right. I was born in St. Catharines and I lived in Mississauga, but I've lived out here out west since I was 7. So this is but yeah, I know all of exactly what you're talking about out there. Yeah.
I've always been in Vancouver. Always. That was where I was born.
Yeah.
So always
Oh,
around here. West Coast girl. Yeah.
West
I
End, but hello. Yeah.
I lived in I grew up in Toronto. That's where my family is. Then I lived in Montreal. Then I lived in Calgary for many years, and I told
Wow.
Leslie about that. I used to work at the YWCA as a counselor. And then from there I moved to Vancouver.
Yeah.
It's so
And then
cool to have people that are all in the same country, like, because it's not
but now I'm in
usual.
California.
But you know that you're Canadian. Yeah, I
I'm a
can tell.
Canadian.
It's
Yeah.
cool. It's so interesting to have a group
Isn't
of
it?
Canadians together, you know?
Yes, it is. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. Okay, ladies,
Have to
any
go through.
last thoughts that you'd like to share before we go into our meditation?
I just appreciate everybody, the good energy and everything. And Leslie, this has just been so generous of you to give us all this gift. So
Mm,
yeah,
it's been
thank you
my
all,
pleasure.
really.
Very much.
Yeah,
My
You
pleasure.
are such a generous and wise
really.
woman. So
Yeah.
glad you're in my life, Leslie.
Yeah.
And I want to do a hypnosis with you and Akasha reading. So I'll be in touch with you because I miss those.
Okay, I will definitely reach out. I'm going to reach out
connect.
to everyone anyways. But I also know Eliza's going to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And Elaine will connect as well. And Jessica, you know, I'm glad that you came. And I'll definitely be reaching out and following up. Well, you know, I have a little bit of experience in that, so I can help you out if you want, Jessica. Yeah, I love what I do, and like I said, you can't even make the stuff up that comes out of hypnosis. It's just like the most amazing thing. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. It has been my pleasure spending this time with you. I know that I've got to do the meditation because I have I have something I have to be with and be at in half an hour or two. But I love this. Yeah. So it's just a nice short meditation just to bring this all together. And I'll reach out to you, and don't hesitate to reach out to me. You have my email and I am happy to have a chat. All right. So make yourself comfortable. Let your eyes softly close. Take a deep breath in and gently exhale. Let your body relax. Let your heart be open. Allow yourself feel the quiet power of this moment. The end of one chapter and the beginning of a new one. You've showed up. You've listened. You've released. You've remembered. This journey has not been about fixing. It's been about coming home to your body, to your truth, to your wisdom, to your worth. And now breathe in everything you've claimed this week. Breathe it in. Compassion, clarity, connection, lightness, freedom. Feel it settle deep within you, not as something outside of you, but as something you've always carried. I'm not who I was 5 days ago. I release what no longer serves me. I trust the path ahead. I am ready to rise. Let yourself rest in that knowing. This is not the end, it's a returning to the truth that's always been yours. You are free. You are enough. You are limitless. Take one more breath in and a slow, gentle breath out. And when you're ready, bring your awareness back to the room, carrying with you the light, the love, and the wisdom you've awakened. Welcome home. When you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes. Welcome. Welcome. It has been such a pleasure spending this time with you. I will reach out and follow up if I don't hear from you. And so it is. Exactly. So it is. I know I will see each of you again in whatever way that looks. I would love you to be part of my community because I think you just fit with who I'm looking for in the community. And I just can't wait to see you all rise. Can't wait. All right, my friends, it has been lovely. I'll see you all soon. I'll see you all soon.
Thank you all.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Thank you all. We'll see you soon.
Yeah,
We'll see
for
you
sure.
soon.
And we'll reach out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The power of community.
Mhm.
See you guys.